Hey everybody, it's your girl Jessenia Vice, and you're tuned in to Like a Boss here on This Is 50. This man needs no introduction, but still, I'm going to introduce my audience to this amazing man, Kai Greene, also known as
AKA Mr. Getting It Done, AKA The Predator, AKA King Kai, AKA I don't know what else to say.
Well, thank you for coming because I know your schedule is completely hectic, so you made some time here. So this is for anyone new or old that's watching this. I mean, I want to kind of have a little 360 around your story of how you got started and where you are today.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to highlight a few things, but I want to kind of bring everybody back. So growing up, your childhood wasn't easy. You know, like mine, I grew up in Brick City. I want to know what helped you get through all these obstacles that life brought you and led you to where you are today, because I mean, instead of becoming a statistic, you're an example. So what helped get you, what mindset got you through that?
Wow, that's a great question.
Start off like that.
Man, that's really heavy. Man, thank you for the opportunity. I really don't know what to say right off the top of my head with that one. I think, there's been a lot of contributions made by a lot of really wonderful people. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So that said, I think everybody becomes an example of something. So the people a lot of times don't know just how valuable your contribution can be to the development of other people, particularly people that are looking for a better way. I think the universe is amazing for that fact, because the man that's looking for help can find it, if he really wants it. So, I mean, I went from being a young man and didn't have any very strong and positive male role models in my home. In fact, to becoming a ward of the state and not having a home in that respect to really even expect to provide you with the certain necessities and responsible for helping you develop. But even with that, so even in the most abject kind of disadvantaged situation, a person that is looking to get and become can.
Well, I was mentioning earlier before we got started, I saw him on a documentary, Generation Iron, and I remember something that caught my ear was that one of your English professor was what introduced you into the world of like wrestling and bodybuilding and all this stuff, right? So would it be nice to say that he gave you kind of like that male figure direction or support? Because like you said, you didn't have that. Do you think that had he not met you in that cross point in your life where you were looking for help some way, shape, or form, that if he didn't offer that, it would have led you somewhere different?
You know what? Honestly, I think there was a really big help. The school teacher did provide, but more importantly, I think there was a time when I used to believe that the people that helped me, that just encouraged me to be an athlete or to aspire to become a really good athlete. There was a time when I thought that their encouragement was in large part due to the fact that they believed that I could become a great athlete at the discipline that I was working toward. It's only been within the last, I think, 7 years of my life that I've come to realize that the people that knew better really didn't care at all whether or not I was going to become a successful athlete. I think much like the English teacher, they understood that, with the challenges that this young man has and the very difficult road ahead that he will, have to face, if he can at least get a handle on the development of his discipline, he may somewhere within that identify the ability to save his own life. And that, I think, went a lot further than anything that you could do to encourage the athlete. I think a lot of the things that I mistook as the prophecy that I would be great at the thing that I was trying to do really had more to do with, a caring person that couldn't do the work for you.
Absolutely.
But could be a good example, even if they just gave you a book. had within the book something that you were interested in.
Yeah.
So now, you know, it's one thing to have like reading material. I was one of those kids that didn't learn how to read until after I was 16. But
a lot of the greats. Same story. A lot of the greats.
But a lot of that had to do with finally discovering subject matter that applied to me, that I was interested in. You know, I wanted to become a better athlete. I wanted to be a great athlete at my discipline. And, you know, once that was realized, you know, I now had a reason to want to learn about vowel sounds and put those things together and improve. Yeah, that's right. That's what's up. That's what's up. You know, resource room worked.
Good. That's great. That's excellent. Flash forward to today, present time. You have won so many awards. 5-time Arnold Classic champion.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw your road to the Olympia with the documentary Generation Iron, and this was me first time watching. And now, you know, I was 200 pounds as a kid, so I started my fitness journey young, and I just got into the whole bodybuilding fitness world about 2-3 years ago. I've had a few injuries here and there, but you know, when I saw it and I saw your story, and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at how you're training and how articulate and how you're posing, it's art. It's watching art in life form. So I'm seeing you on stage, and I'm like, mind you, I'm a newbie. I'm watching you for the first time, and I'm like, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. I'm like, this guy has got it. He's got everything. And I was so disappointed. Can you tell me what your thoughts were, just your thoughts or even your feelings? You know, we don't have to get politically correct or incorrect with this. Just what were you thinking when you heard your name called out second place?
Oh, well, you know, which time?
All right, because this guy, it's first, second, third time. It's 3 times second. I can't understand it. Once I did my homework, I was like, I don't understand it. So the third time, your last time that you were there, what was the feelings? What were your thoughts at that moment? Like, what did you?
You know, naturally with any athlete that is, you know, working to be a professional, and, you know, in large part the way you define yourself as a professional athlete is to be successful. And, you know, the success in my sport meant aiming to get the trophies. You know, I can recall beginning the earlier part of my career as an athlete as a trophy hunter, you know, and it's so funny because later on in my competitive experience, I found I was given the name the Predator, but it was kind of given in the way of being a backhanded compliment. But I took it as a really cool badge of honor because there were things that I understood, at least about the Predator in the film, you know, as the character, and things that I understood about my own personal story.
Yeah, your own life.
So to be on stage at the Super Bowl of my experience, competitive experience at that time, and to find, hey man, you know, you came in second. In the beginning, obviously, it has to be very, very disheartening.
It broke my heart.
That's not what you were working for, but it was what I was working for, and I'll tell you why. Because there's so many lessons that become available to you by the experiences that you encounter. You know, nothing happens by accident. You know, and as I have been working to develop myself in the way of identifying what is my success, what is the picture of my success supposed to look like, I now know that that was a necessary part of my experience as I am continuing on my journey.
It's not like one door closes, it's just the evolving door. And for you, it has been evolving because you went from doing all of this to now you're officially signed to a major agency in Hollywood, an actor. You're working on a comic book. You know, you have your own protein line.
Yeah, supplement company.
Oh my gosh, and he's killing it. How did you get started with the comic book series? Tell us its name. What do you know? What can we expect? All that great stuff.
Well, Chronicles of King Kai is the graphic novel. You know, how did you get started with it? Wow, it's
because I know you draw.
Yeah,
do your drawings get, you know, did they make it into the comic book? Or
yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, in the very beginning, I wanted to, you know, I think I've been drawing since before I learned my ABCs. So it's always been a part of, I think, the natural way that my spirit seeks to express itself. I think the artistic mind is one of those things that I will say over and over again. I think it's just alive. And it's continuing to seek expression in everything that I do. So I feel like I've been in touch with the expressive powers of the presence of my artistic mind even long before I was able to identify it and call it what it is.
Okay.
But it is a valuable influence because I think some of the things that I would struggle to express, to articulate, I might have found it easier to express artistically in some other form. I think the first time that I got a chance to really see a visible manifestation of it that other people can kind of identify and say, hey man, you have an artistic mind. There's some artistic stuff going on with
There's
you.
a lot.
Was drawing, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that as far back as I can remember. But it doesn't just stop there. I think that the artistic mind, I think you can see expressed in everything. The way that you turn around and organize your dieting strategy, the way you organize your, the way you think about training, you know, how you formulate your approach to training your body. There's just rhythm that's in everything, you know.
There's something you talk about a lot. It's the mind-muscle connection. Preach on that topic for us so that we can learn a little bit about it, especially myself, because like I said, like I value just the way of your speech and your mind and how you think of things, because I've never thought of these things this way, and you speak of it so articulately that it blows my mind, and I want my audience to be blown away too.
I don't know about blowing someone's mind, but yeah, you know, here's the thing. I can recall being a young man in an institutional facility or just going around in foster care and not really having a whole lot of skills. And one of the reasons why I think it's very particularly important to me at this time to talk about some of the things that relate to my story is because I believe there's like a whole slew of young people out there that really don't end up being talked about or advocated for. You know, there is a system that, you know, can be very, very, very destructive. So when one person or two people or whomever it is that, you know, gets to a place where they don't become the obvious negative statistic that they were expected to become based on, you know, having that kind of background, you know, I think it's important to at least raise your hand, you know, to stand up and be counted. I remember living in institutional facilities and hearing, you know, when the directors or the head staff administrators would come in and, you know, read the latest newspaper clippings of this one or that one that, you know, had gotten arrested or, you know, went up for attempted murder. And a lot of times these were guys that, you know, you were your roommates. Yep. They were the people that you were, you know, a resident with or you know, you shared close quarters with. So when you get to a place where there's, hey man, that wasn't me. What you said, that wasn't me. Because there was a time when you really did believe that, man, you know what, I'm gonna be a part of this 90%, this 85 to 87 percentile that's supposed to not make it, you know. But a lot of times what happens is the stories are the ones that did not accept that. You didn't know about their story. You didn't hear about it. And a lot of times in the midst of celebrating the thing that they accomplished that was really important to the story of their success, that very important piece of background information was critical. Because somehow in that you can identify you and say, well, maybe, you know, maybe there is something else for me. How did they do it? Well, they decided to do something else. And I think that's where we are today. So when we talk about, hey, the Chronicles of King Kai, I kind of developed it as a colorful metaphoric reference to a young man that grows up in the institutional facility based on, you know, a family tragedy that he will struggle to explain. There's a moment where I can recall being a young child. I was originally the state star witness against my biological mother, and you know, this case that would ultimately just would break my home and change the whole relationship, life going forward. What the hell does this mean? So my mother gets arrested, you know, I had a little brother, and, you know, I can recall struggling with the thought of, well, what does this mean and what's gonna happen going forward? You know, and every time you moved and saw some of these very interesting things unfold, there's a story that is currently unfolding, but it's your story. And now when I look back on it, you know, that little boy is telling a story of becoming. And in order to do it, you know, he doesn't just say it directly, he talks in this very colorful metaphor. he goes to another world, and he calls the world Trakari. It's a place where nothing is what it seems, you know, and somehow in this experience and in the midst of all the challenges that he's going to be confronted with and that he invariably is confronted with, he has to overcome. How does he do it? He accepts the idea of becoming a warrior. He thinks of himself as a warrior, and King Kai is the name of the warrior, and he goes and develops in his way, fights 3 gods on the course to becoming the best that he can, and that thing was a king. So on his road to becoming better than what he was, on the road to becoming a king, he fights 3 gods that try to stop him from realizing his dream. So anyway, Chronicles of King Kai is my graphic novel.
When can we expect this out so that...
Well, we have pieces of it out. I'm currently working on completing it. I would love to develop it into an animated
I can see that
animated
happening.
film.
I can see that happening, no problem.
Thanks for even saying that. That's pretty cool.
We'll speak that into the universe.
Yes.
I'm a huge believer of just speaking things into the universe.
All right.
And I said, the moment I saw that, I'm like, I'm going to get him into This Is 50, and I'm going to talk to him. And ta-da!
Wow.
Less than a week.
That's
Boom!
what's up. Said less than a week.
The power of spoken word, yes. You have another thing that you're working on right now. You're working on a movie.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How is it like? I mean, are you playing like a I don't know, like a samurai warrior? Are you playing tell me, like, is it sci-fi? What is it?
Well, currently we're still finishing Generation Iron 2.
Okay, yeah.
And Generation Iron 1 was the first film that you got a chance to see, but we filmed that like 5 years ago.
That was a long time ago. And now you're working on that. When is it?
Right.
When
Part
is it gonna
2.
come out?
Well, I believe that this will be out in I would say in the next 4 months.
That's
I think.
awesome. So oh my gosh, so I caught you before the chaos.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Nice.
But they've been actually filming this for a little while, and it really just talks about a lot of the interesting changes in the world of professional bodybuilding and fitness personalities. There's all these new fitness personalities that have found another way to express their personal genius and road to success and financial security, you know, without necessarily subscribing to the old idea of having to compete in the Super Bowl of our experience and, you know, identify themselves as an athlete.
The people love you. Like, the people love you. Like, I follow you and I'm like, I wonder what he posted today. And I seriously, you have such energy towards you that you could just, people are just drawn to you. I'm drawn to you, you know, and I'm so happy that we'll be able to bring you back and have you do something special for our audience.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, later down the road, because I know that you want to showcase a little something, and we'll dabble it with some sazon. He's gonna do some
dabble away.
Posing, right?
Oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah,
we'll set that up again for when you come out here.
That's what's up.
But I definitely want to thank you for coming out here, and I always stamp whoever I have here with my official boss stamp, and it's a high five, okay?
Okay.
You are officially a boss.
Oh, well, that's what's up. I appreciate that.
So I want my audience, check him out, check out his feed. I mean, he's doing such amazing and great things, and I know that a book is coming along. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be there standing in line. Can you sign this for me? I'm a fan. Thank you so much for coming with me. Can you pop a muscle? I mean, my muscle's not like your muscle.
Wow, but do you see this? This is crazy.
Used to be 200 pounds.
Wait. How long have you been training?
Well, you know what? I actually, I'm not going to discuss who the company is, but I'm doing a commercial before and after with a supplement company, and they're kind of like logging everything week by week. And I got into this whole thing when I was 200 pounds, right? But I didn't really do the transformation until I hit the weights when I was in my mid-20s. I'm 32 now. So, like I said, I had an injury. Long story short, I'm back in the game. So I've been training for like 3 weeks now, and I've been seeing a lot of great results.
Get out of here.
3 weeks.
I want to know about that company. That's kind of crazy. It wouldn't happen to be Dynamic Muscle, would it?
Bow. Hey, we could talk about that too, right? Off the camera.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. Well, I'm your girl, Jessenia Vice, Kai Greene. Check him out. We'll have all this information and links below in the description box. And make sure to thumbs up this video. And if you have any questions, just ask away. I'll slide through your DMs with some questions that pop out.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, we welcome that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.